Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Android Training Development, Session 4. So, before we start with today's session, I'll just give a brief of what we saw in the previous session. Probably I can just show you my mobile screen and explain you what we did in the previous session. So in the previous session, we saw a few concepts related to the list view and grid view. So the first one which we saw was the list view controller, where this list view control is used for displaying the information. For example, you might have seen the WhatsApp, right? WhatsApp, Facebook. They display the list of records one after the other. I mean, one below the other with a different sizes or probably different variations in the controls, right? So that is a customized one. But what you are seeing now is the normal one where it is not being customized but rather just displaying the string of array. So this is the basic one. So I was explaining about WhatsApp, right? So in WhatsApp you might have seen that all the records get displayed one after the other, right? So in each and every record or each and every contact you might see towards the left side you can see the image. Towards the left side you can see the image. Right side you can see the date, and again in middle you can see the name of the person. Again below you can see some message might be there, right? So you have almost 2, 3, 4 controls in each and every record, right? So that is nothing but a customized list view item. But what you're seeing now is the basic one. So automatically when you scroll, the other items get displayed. So you don't need to implement the scroll view over here. Automatically if the number of items exceeds the screen or goes outside the screen, automatically the scroll view will be enabled. So we don't need to write any program for that one. So this was the list view control, and again when I click on any one of the control you can see that that particular item text is being displayed. So for this we need to write the code. So whenever you click on any one of the item, you need to capture the, it will give you the position which item was clicked. So based on the position you need to get the value from it and get the text and then display. So this was the basic list view. The next one which we saw was the scroll view control. Imagine you have a form where the user needs to type huge amount of information like name, age, date of birth, gender, qualifications, cities, is address like city, state, country, zip code, phone number, home landline address, something like that. There might be too many controls in the screen. It might not fit the entire screen, right? Sometimes it might go out of the screen. So in that case, you can use the scroll view control. So if the size of the controls goes outside the screen, or if the number of controls exceeds the size of the screen, in that case, the scroll view will be enabled. Here you can see that in this screen I have put 30 text view controls. This is only for demonstration purpose. Apart from text view control, you can also put whatever controls you want. That doesn't matter. So inside this scroll view control, I have put 30 controls. So that's the reason whenever you scroll, you are able to see the other controls. If you don't put the scroll view, what will happen? You will be able to see only 7 text views. Probably if your screen size is slightly larger than this screen, then you might see around 8 or 9 controls. But usually you might see around 6 to 9 controls depending upon the screen size. But remaining controls will not be able to see. But the same thing, if you put all these controls inside the scroll view, then as soon as you scroll, the remaining controls will be visible. So that's the purpose of this scroll view control. We have one more thing called as the horizontal scroll view, which is just opposite to your scroll view. What does your scroll view does? Your scroll view will scroll in vertical fashion, right? Your scroll view will do in scroll scroll view will do in vertical fashion. You have one more thing called as horizontal scroll view. This will do the scrolling in horizontal fashion. Scroll view will do in vertical fashion. Horizontal scroll view will do in horizontal fashion. Here, if the number of controls exceeds the screen, you can scroll it towards the right or left side, basically in horizontal position, which is just opposite to your scroll view control. So this is the purpose of the horizontal scroll view control. So the next one which we saw was the list view custom control. See, the first one which we saw was a list view. That was a basic one without any customization. No customization, just a normal displaying of the items. The same way, if you want to customize each and every item, then you need to define a template or create a template and apply the template for each and every item. So this was the custom list view. So here you can see that each and every item is being customized over here. Customized in the sense a template is being created or an item template is being created where that template contains an image over here, right? An image view and the label, I mean a text view over here. The entire thing is a item. Whatever I am highlighting, it's nothing but an item. And again, this is an item. So each and everything is a item. So this is the first item, this is the second item, this is the third item, likewise this is the fourth item, and so on. So each and every item you can see that there is the image view control and the text view control. So accordingly it displays the information. So this is the custom list view. We saw the adapters concept, how to prepare the list, give it to the adapter, and how to give the adapter for the list view control. The next one was your grid view control. This is same as the list view control, except that the items get displayed in horizontal fashion. So here you can see in the list view you saw that the item was being displayed in vertical fashion, right? One below the other. But here you can see that items are first being displayed in horizontal fashion. First item and here second item. So there is no space over here, right? There is no space over here. So what it does is it creates a new row. It creates a new row and displays the item. So that is how the grid view will work. It first tries to create the rows, it first tries to create the columns, and if it doesn't find any space towards the end, it will create a new row. So what is the example for this grid view? Where can you use this grid view control? You can use this grid view control by displaying the photos, images, videos. I think the best example is your photo gallery. If you go for a gallery, you can see this concept implemented over there, right? You can see the grid view control being used. Except that the working nature of both grid view and list view is same. Except that the way, the look and feel of the control is different. So there it is vertical fashion, here it is horizontal and then vertical fashion. The way it displays the output is different, except that everything else is same. So we saw all these things in the previous session. The next one was your, we saw till Unit 8 Part 2. So in today's session, we'll be seeing Unit 8 Part 3. So if you have any doubts related to your previous session, you can ask now, or else we'll start with the next topic. So we'll go with the next part, Android containers part 3. In this unit, you will learn more Android containers that you can use in your apps. At the end of this unit, you'll be able to recognize some of the Android containers like search view, video view, and tab host, and also identify the XML syntax to code those containers or controls, and also how to reference them in Java, and also identify their attributes related to those controls. So some of the Android containers which we'll be seeing in today's in this unit is search view, video view, and tab host control. So first we'll go with the search view control. Search view container. Search view container provides the user interface for the user to enter a search query and submit a request to a search provider. I think you might have seen the Google search, right? It's not exactly like a Google search, but it is something like a Google search. Once you start typing, once you type something and you press on the search button, it will display, the result of it, right? Likewise, even this is something like your search view, search control. So you get the feel of it. So here you can see in that, so here you can see this search icon, here you can search, here you have this cancel button. So again, for the search view, by default this search button is activated in the keypad. For example, in your text view in your edit text control, once you place the cursor, you don't see the search icon, right? You might see the tick mark icon, next button or done button or any other icons, but you won't see the search icon. If you want to see the search icon, then you need to manually change the IME options over there, right? But for this search view control, by default, the search button is activated. So some of the frequently used attributes for the search view container are these things. So you have the ID, which is nothing but the control name, layout width and layout height, iconified by default if you want to provide any icon for it, input type, the input type to be set on the query text field, and finally the query int, which is nothing but the placeholder. Some of the commonly used methods for the search view container are these things. So probably whatever you can do inside the XML file, you can do the same thing through Java with using this functions. So you can see the search view control inside your containers. So you can drag and drop this control, or else you can manually type the code. So this will be the code for the search view control. So you have the search view tag over here. You need to declare a variable name and specify the layout width and layout height. If you want any placeholder, then you can specify the query int. So this will be your search view control. Okay, before going for next control, I'll show you the output of it and then explain you the code. Here, this is a search view control. So once when I click on this search button, you can see that it gets activated, and also I'm displaying the toast message, got the focus, and also automatically the keypad is opening, right? So now you can start typing over here. See, as soon as I type something, you can capture all those characters and I'm displaying inside the toast message. See, once when I click on the search button, probably it's still displaying the toast. Okay. Now when I click on the search button, you can see that I'm getting a text from the search view control and displaying in the form of a toast. So instead of doing these things, you can do whatever you want. Like you can send the text for the server, get some information and then display either in the list view or whatever controls you want. But you have a feature something like, see, if you press on this cancel button, everything is cleared. Again, the keypad is open with the search view is enabled. So again, I can start typing. So this is the search view control. I show you the text for it. Sorry, I'll show you the code for it. See, the reason why I get this message is I have not installed API 24 in my system. So that's the reason it is giving the error. So if I change it to the API level 23, I can get the output. Probably it is not build the project. I just rebuild the project so that this error doesn't come. So first time when you open your Android Studio and if the existing project opens, sometimes it might give you errors because it might have not created the build over there. So just wait for some time so that the build is over and you won't be able to see any errors over there. Okay, now you can see that the errors are not there. So I'll go for the XML file. Okay, I'll go for the XML file. So here you can see that the search view is there, and here you can see I have put a search view control. I've given the variable name, layout width, layout height, center horizontal. I've made it to true. Align parent top, I've just given it a stop, and margin top I've given 30 dp so that I get this space over here. So nothing extra over here, just your normal search view control. So inside a search, inside my Java file, here I am getting the reference of the control, and dynamically through Java I am setting the query int. Here you can see dynamically I am setting the query int. Here itself I can specify what was the text which I had given over there. Search view. Okay, type something to search. Here itself I could have given this query in, but just for demonstration purpose I won't give it in XML file, but rather I'll be specifying it in Java file. So you can do in both the ways, however comfortable you are. If you feel that you want to change the query int dynamically, then it is preferable to do it in Java file. If you find that the query text doesn't change at all, then you can fix it in the XML file. Usually the query int will not change it, but just in case in your scenario if you want to change, you can do it. Next, Next, whenever the focus changes, whenever you get the focus for the search view control or lose the focus, you can use this control. Got the focus? It will display true or false. It will send you a boolean value over here, whether you got the focus or lost the focus, right? So you need to register this listener. Set on query text focus change listener. Remember this one. Set on query text focus change listener. The meaning of that one is whenever the focus changes, it will fire this listener or call this function on focus change. The next listener which I have registered over here is the search.set on query text listener. So this listener I have registered such that every time when you type a character or when you click on the search button inside the keypad, this particular listener is fired. And inside this listener, inside this interface, there are two methods implemented. One is the on query text submit, and the other one is your on query text change. So this on query text change is whenever you start typing, I mean start typing in the sense either you can enter a character or delete a character. This particular function is called. I repeat once more, whenever you start typing or deleting some characters inside the search view control, this particular function is called. And whenever you click on the search button, I mean this whenever you click on this search button, this particular function is called. Fine. This particular function is called on query text submit. So whatever is present inside the search view control, you can get the text inside this variable. You don't need to separately get the text from this variable, but rather you can get the text directly in this variable. It is passing it as a parameter. So you can do any kind of operation over here. Fine. So this was your search view control. Okay, we'll go with the next. We'll go with the next control. The next one is your video container. The simplest way to display the video in Android application is to use the video view control. It's just simple. It is used for displaying the videos. Video view is a visual component. Video view is a visual component. When added to the layout of an activity, it provides a surface onto which a video may be played. Videos can be played in Android with the help of a media controller and video view classes. It's not compulsory to use this media controller, but if you use this media controller, you'll get these features. So here you are able to see this thing, right? Like you have this next button, previous button, pause button, and the timer. So if you use this media controller, then you will get this special controls which is related to your video view. And only if you want, you can integrate this media controller, or else you can just play the video. Fine. Anyways, I'll show you the code so that you can understand one. So media controller is a view that contains media controls like play, pause, previous, next, fast forward, rewind, etc. So once if you use this media controller along with the video view controller, you will get all these special options using the media controller. I repeat once more, it is not compulsory to use this media controller. You can just use video view and play the video. Only if you want these special features like play, pause, previous, next, then you can use this media controller. So some of the functions related to this control are these things. I think it is self-explainable again. It's like set video URI. You can set the URI path of the video. You have set media controller. To set the media controller reference, you have start, pause, resume functions. So you have this video view control inside the containers, inside the pilot window. So this is the syntax for the video view control. So you declare a variable name for this, layout width and layout height. Okay, I'll just show you the output of the controller. So here you can see that the video is being played. So once when I click, once when I just tap on it, you can see this media controller getting displayed. Right. So this is nothing but the video view controller. So this is the video view controller. I'll show you the code for that. Where is the video view? Okay, this is the video view. So again, there is no special thing over here. I've just given a video. I've used the video view controller, given the variable name, specify the layout width and layout height, and also specify the center and parent equals to true, so that you will see that control in the center of the screen. Fine. So let me go for your Java file. So again, I have put a video directly inside my drawable folder, inside my raw folder. Here. So before you access a video, you need to put the videos inside the raw folder. So here you can see that raw folder. See, by default, when you create the Android Studio project, you won't be able to see this raw folder, right? I repeat once more. By default, when you create Android Studio project, by default, you won't be able to see this raw folder. So how do you create this one? Right click on the RES, new Android resource dictionary. Inside the resource types, you'll be able to see this raw. So select this raw and click on OK. So then this raw folder will be created. So then you can put the video file inside this raw folder. You can just drag and drop or copy paste inside this raw folder. Fine. Next, coming back for your Java file, here I am getting the reference of the video view controller. Before that, I am declaring two variables. One is for the video view and one is for the media controller. So here I am getting the reference of the video view controller. Next, I am declaring an object for the media controller. Fine. I am declaring an object for media controller, passing the current activity reference. Fine. Next, I need to specify the URI path, where exactly the image is present in your Android device. So this is the code for it. So URI path equals to URI.path Android:resource. If you want to access any resources from your Android application and from your Android device, then you need to say Android.resource : get your package name. Get your package name. What is your package name? This is your package name. com.example.android3 session. This is my package name. So it might be different for your projects. So whatever project names you get, that will become your package names. So here you're getting the package name and appending to it and specifying the slash and inside the raw folder. Understood? Inside the raw folder, inside the raw folder Android. Here, this is my file name, right? So you need to specify r.raw.android. It will go inside this raw folder and get this file. So here you are basically specifying the path of the file, or else you can directly specify the path. If you remember the package name, if you know the package name, then you can directly hard code like this. So that's the reason I put this or condition over here. Either you use this syntax or you use this syntax, whichever you are comfortable, but both give the same result. Only thing is that here you are specifying the Android resource double slash and I'm specifying directly the package name. But here I am using the built-in function to get the package name. So that's the only difference over here. So once you get the URI path, you can set the media controller first. Already we have created the controller media controller object, right? So give the controller for the video view. Next, give the path for the video view control. Set the path, set video URI. Once it is done, request the focus. Once you get the focus, start the video. So the video starts playing automatically when you open the screen. Fine. So this is the video view concept. Okay, we'll go with the next control, which is nothing but your Tabos control. So Tabos is a container for a tabbed window view. Again, you might have seen in WhatsApp, right? You get those tabs in the top. I don't remember. Just a second. Okay, I think you have 3 tabs, right? Calls, chats, and contacts. In your, for example, WhatsApp itself, you have calls, chats, and contacts, right? So that is your tabs concept. So for using that one, you can use this Tabos container control. So Tabos is a container for a tabbed window view. A Tabos object holds 2 children: a set of tab labels that user clicks to select a specific tab, and a frame layout object that displays the contents of the page. So this point is related to this, and this point is related to the content over here. So whatever contents you display over here, so whatever contents you display in this part is nothing but your second point, which is nothing but the frame layout. And the first point, a set of tab labels that user clicks to select a specific tab. This is related to your tab 1, tab 2 and tab 3. Basically the tabs in the top. Fine. So these are some of the methods available for the tab host. To add you have the function to add the tab, to clear the tab, to get the reference of the tab view control, and whenever the tab changes, you can use this function on tab, set on tab change listener. I mean, whenever you change the tabs, this listener will be fired. So you have this Tabos control. You have this Tabos control inside the palette, inside the container. So either you can drag and drop, or else you can write the code. So this is the code for the Tabos control. So here is the tabos control which I have opened over here. Inside tabos, I am declaring a linear layout, and for the linear layout you can see that the orientation is vertical, so that the tabs are displayed on the top and the content is displayed in the bottom. So how are the tabs displayed? The tabs are displayed using this tab widget. Remember this one. Tabs gets displayed inside this tab widget, and contents can be displayed inside this frame layout. Remember this thing. This is for tabs and this is for content. Both are present inside the tabos control. Fine. Using this tabos only you can prepare this kind of output. So inside tabos you put a linear layout where you can specify the orientation as vertical. Next, specify the tab widget and frame layout, where tab widget is used for displaying the tabs and frame layout is used for displaying the content. So I'll show you the output for this tabos control. So once when I click on this tabos, you can see that there are 3 tabs displayed, right? So when I click on tab 1, right now we are in tab 1. So when I click on tab 2, you can see that the content is changed. See, just for demonstration purpose, I've given only a single text view, but you can put whatever you want inside the content. Likewise, when I click on tab 3, the tab 3 contents are displayed. So this is the tab control. Let me show you the code for it. So here is the code. Fine. So here you can see that. So here you can see that there is a tabos control. Okay. Here you can see that there is a tabos control. Inside tabos, I put the linear layout, and inside the linear layout, I have given the orientation as vertical, and inside that, I am using a tab widget and frame layout, which I explained you earlier. Fine. Next, let me go for the Java file. Let me go for the Java file. Where is the tabos? Okay, this tabos. So it's very simple. So here I am getting the reference of the tabos control, right? So here you can see that I have given the variable name for the tabos as tab host. So this tabos control, I am getting the reference over here. Next, I am saying tabos.new tab spec. I am creating the tabs over here. Fine. I am creating the tabs over here and just giving some names for that one. Fine. Next, tab1.set indicator. So whatever text you see, tab 1, tab 2 and tab 3, those things are present here. Fine. Next, and I'm specifying the content for it. So whenever you click on that particular tab, this particular activity will be invoked. Tab 1 activity, tab 2 activity and tab 3 activity. Finally, after creating the 3 tabs, I'm adding the tabs for the tabos. See, here I'm just getting the specification of it, but not adding the tabs for the final tabos control. After setting all the values, then I'm adding the tab 1, tab 2 and tab 3 for the tabos control. Fine. So if you don't call these 3, if you don't use these 3 statements, then you won't be able to see the 3 tabs. So this is the place you are adding the tabs. Fine. So now what is present inside this tab 1, tab 2 and tab 3 activity? Nothing is there. So inside this tab 1 activity, I am declaring a text view and adding it for the set content view. So here you might see that usually in the activities you will find this code, right? Set content view r.layout.activity tab both. What does it indicate? Whenever this activity loads, you are saying that this particular XML file needs to be loaded. When the XML file is loaded, it is basically creating the design on the screen, right? But the same thing if you observe over here, I am not using set content view r.layout.activity name, XML file name, but rather this is just a different approach. You can use even that approach, but I'm showing you a different way of setting the view over here. Fine. So here I'm declaring the text view TV equal to new text view. I'm setting the size, setting the gravity. If you want to set the color, you set the color. Next, I'm setting the text of it. This is the tab 1 activity. Fine. Next, I'm adding the text view control for the view. So inside the screen, you'll be able to see only one control. So this is something like I'm creating the view dynamically through Java file. Earlier all we used to create the controls in XML file and give the XML file, right? But in this case, slightly in a different way, I'm showing you this. So here I'm creating the view dynamically. Here I'm creating the control dynamically and adding it to the view. It's slightly a different way. So this is tab 1 activity. So the same thing you can find in tab 2 activity also. Only thing is the text is changing. That's all. This is tab 2 activity, and likewise inside tab 3 activity, you'll see this text tab 3 activity. So whenever you click on any one of the tabs, the content changes. Yes, whenever I click on the tab, the contents are changing because inside tab both I am registering this thing tab1.set content. Tab1.set content. So whenever you're inside the tab 1, this activity contents needs to be focused or displayed. Likewise for tab 2 and tab 3. Fine. So this is how the tabs concept works. There are still more advanced way of using the tabs, but for beginners probably you can use this concept. So if you have any doubts related to this, you can ask now. Or else we can go with the next unit. So just give me 2 minutes. We'll go with the next concept, Android alert dialog. I think this might be the common one which you might have seen inside your Android application. So whenever you're using the Android applications, you might get some alert dialogs, right? Alerts like yes, no, cancel, or yes, no, cancel, or cancel, whatever is it, right? So you might get some alert dialogs inside the center of the screen, right? So that is nothing but your alert dialog concept. It is not a control, but it is just a concept or a library which is being provided by the Android framework for displaying the dialogue. If you are familiar about the HTML web designing, in JavaScript there is a function called as alert. So when you call that alert and pass some string value, you'll get that dialog box, right? And also you have that confirm window. Inside that you have that yes no cancel concept. So the same thing in Android, you have it as in the form of an alert dialog. So in this unit, you will be learning about how to create and use a default alert dialog, and also how to customize the alert dialog in the Android applications. Identify how to create the default alert dialog, and also identify how to use the custom alert dialog. Okay, probably it is better I show you the output first, so that you get some idea about that one. You can get the feel of it. So when I click on this alert dialog, okay, sorry, not this one now. When I click on this alert dialog, I have demonstrated both the examples. One is the default alert dialog and one is the custom alert dialog. So when I click on this alert dialog, you can see this alert dialog, right? So here you can see that an icon is displayed. You can specify the title over here. You can specify the message over here, and the cancel button, no button, and yes button. So 3 buttons you have. So this is nothing but the alert dialog. Fine. The next one is your custom alert dialog. So when I click on the custom alert dialog, you can see that I have put some logo over here. I just put some Android logo. Here you can see I have put the username text box over here. Here I have put the password control, and here I have put the same cancel buttons and some 2 extra buttons, right? So it is almost a customized one, right? So this is the customized alert dialog. I think you might have got some clear picture about that one, right? Like how the alert dialog looks. So a dialog is a small window that prompts the user to take a decision or enter additional information. Android alert dialog can be used to display the dialog message with OK and cancel buttons. It can also be used to interrupt and ask the user about his or her choice to continue or discontinue. You can use it however you want, depending upon your scenario. Android alert dialog is composed of 3 regions. One is the title, content area, and the action buttons. Remember these 3 things. Android alert dialog is composed of 3 regions: title, content area, and action buttons. Android alert dialog is a subclass of the dialog class. Remember, Android alert dialog is the subclass of the dialog class. So, in order to create an alert dialog, you need to make an object of alert dialog builder, which is an inner class of alert dialog. Fine. In order to create an alert dialog, you need to create an object of the alert dialog builder, which is an inner class of the alert dialog. So, declare an object and store it inside the alert dialog builder object. Now you have to set the positive button or negative button or the neutral button. You have 3 kinds of buttons. One is the positive, one is the negative, and one is the neutral button. So you can set the positive and negative and neutral button. So for that you can say that alert dialog builder dot set positive button, specify the text whatever you want, and the click listener. Click listener like the same way how we did for the buttons, right? So the same thing you can do even over here. And also you can set the set negative button. Alert dialog dot set negative button. Pass the text over here. You can specify whatever text you want. Fine. So I repeat once more. There are three kinds of things: positive button, negative button, and neutral button. So after creating the object of it, you need to call the create function. See, here I am declaring an alert dialog builder. Here I am setting the buttons over here. Once you finish everything with the alert dialog builder, you need to say alert dialog builder dot create. Alert dialog builder dot create. Fine. Once you call this create function, it will create the object and store it inside the alert dialog object. Then you need to say alert dialog dot show function. So once when you call the show function only, the alert dialog is displayed on the screen. Until you call the show function, the alert dialog is not displayed. You have just created the object and stored inside the memory. If you want that thing to be stored, if that thing you want to be stored on the screen, you need to call this show function. Remember this one. Anyhow, I'll explain those code again in the Java files. So these are some of the buttons available. You can set the icon, you can set the cancelable button, you can set the message, and also you can set the title for the alert dialog. So this is the entire code for the alert dialog. So here you can see that I'm creating an alert dialog object over here. Fine, alert dialog builder object I'm creating. Next, alert dialog builder dot set message. Here I'm specifying the text over here. Example for neutral, I'll be explaining in the Java code. This is just a sample code. Fine. Okay. I think the neutral button code is not there in this slide, but I'll be showing you that neutral, positive, and negative inside the Java code. So here I am specifying the message over here. Like here you can see, are you sure you want to exit? Fine. So this is the message, and here you are specifying the positive button. So here you are setting the positive button. You specify text whatever you want and register the listener over here. So whenever you click on this yes button, this particular function is called. So you can write the code inside this on click event. Likewise, even for the set negative button. So whenever you click on this no button, this particular event is fired. Fine. Next, once you set the positive and negative button and neutral button, you need to say alert dialog builder dot create. This will create the object and store it inside the alert dialog object. Then you need to call the show function. Only if you call the show function, this particular dialog is displayed. If not, it won't be displayed. Remember, only if you call the show function, this dialog is displayed. Fine. So this is the alert dialog. Okay, let me go for the custom alike dialog afterwards. I'll explain you the code for this. Let me go for the so here I have just put two buttons over here. So here you can see that I have put two buttons just for demonstration purpose. Fine. So here I am directly registering with the on click. So when I click on this first button, I am calling the BTN1 click. Likewise BTN2 click. Fine. So let me come back for the Java file. So whenever I click on the BTN1 click, this is the function that is being called. Fine. So here you can see that inside the button one click, same thing, same code. Here I am declaring the builder object. I repeat once more. Here I am creating the builder object. Here I am specifying the message, alert dialog message. Here I am specifying the title. See, it is not compulsory to set both. You can specify whichever you want. Fine. So specify the message and title whichever you want. Next, if you want to set the icon, you can set the icon. Builder.set icon Android r.drawable.ic dialog alert. Here we have lot of icons, default icons, so you can use whatever you want. I mean whatever you want in the sense, let us match it to the scenario. Fine. So here I am using the alert icon. Here I am setting the positive button. Here I am displaying the toast message. Whenever I click on the positive button, yes. Likewise for negative button and likewise for the neutral button. See, set positive button, set negative button, and set neutral button. So neutral button, whatever you specify inside the neutral button will be displayed towards the left side of the screen. Positive button and negative button will be displayed towards the right side of the screen. Fine. So this was the custom alert. I mean this is a normal alert dialog. Fine. We'll go with the next one. Custom alert dialog. So creating a custom alert dialog in Android involves below steps. Create a custom alert dialog XML file. Remember this one. You need to create a XML file, layout file for this. Next, attach the layout for the dialog. Next, display the dialog. How do you display the dialog? By calling the show function. Right. So before that, you need to create an XML file and attach that XML file for the dialog. So these are the three steps that you need to follow. Create an XML file, attach the XML layout file for the dialog and display the dialog. So this is the custom dialog file. Probably I will explain the same code. I will explain the same code in Java file. I already showed you the output, right? So this is the custom alert dialog. See here you can see that it is completely different. Yes, no, cancel buttons are same. But apart from that, the design is different one. So this is the BTN2 click. This is the BTN 2-click. What was the first thing which we saw? We saw 3 points, right? First we need to create the layout file. Attach the layout file for the alert dialog. Next display the alert dialog. So I have already created the layout file. Here, alert dialog builder. I have already designed this layout file. Inside the linear layout, I put the image view, edit text, and edit text. Here, I put one image view, one edit text with username, and one more edit text with password. So I put 3 controls and designed this layout file. How do you design the layout file? I've already explained for like how to create the layout file. Right click on the layout, new, select the layout resource file, give some name and click on OK. You will be creating a layout file. It doesn't have any Java file, only you are creating the XML layout file. Fine. So this is my layout file which contains 3 controls. Next, you need to attach that layout file to the alert dialog, right? So you need to get the reference of the layout inflator. We already saw this layout inflator concept inside the list view concept, list view custom. When we were seeing the adapters concept for the list view and grid view, we saw this layout inflator, which is used for getting the reference of the XML files from your project, which will help you to get the reference of the XML files from your project. Create an object for the layout inflator. Next, declare an object for the alert dialog. Next, instead of setting the message and title and icon for the alert dialog builder, instead of that, you set a view, builder.setView, inflator.inflate, r.layout.alert dialog builder layout, null, where this is my layout name. Here, alert builder underscore layout. This is the file which contains the layout, right? So this file I am attaching to the builder object by calling the setView function. I am loading this layout file inside the builder object. Fine. Next, everything else is the same. You have the positive button, you have the cancel button, and you have the negative button. You know, just for demonstration purpose, I have given some XYZ. It's not compulsory that whenever it is positive button, you should use only yes. Whenever it is neutral button, you should use only cancel. And whenever it is negative button, you should use no as the text. It's not compulsory. You use whatever you want, but let it be meaningful. So that's the reason I've just given some, some normal text. So you can specify whatever you want. Fine. So remaining everything else is the same. Finally, call the create function and create an alert dialog object, and then call the show functions to display the alert dialog. So this was your alert dialog concept. We'll go for the next control. Okay, before that you can take a 5 minutes break, and then we'll start with the next topic. You can take a break for 5 minutes and then we'll start with the new topic. Okay, we'll start with the next topic, date and time widgets. So this is date and time widgets, basically date and time controls to display the date and time controls. Android provides widgets or controls for the user to pick time or date which is being ready to use widget or in the form of a dialog. Time picker and date picker widgets are mostly used to take date and time input from the user. These two widgets are also available in the form of the dialog. It is very difficult for us to create a time kind of or a date kind of control, right? So by default, Android provides you the date and time picker controls, where you can just show the controls and let the user select the date and time. So we'll be seeing some of the widgets like text clock, date picker, time picker, and the calendar view control. And also identify the XML syntax for it and how to reference them in Java, and also some of the attributes related to those UI controls. So these are the things that we'll be seeing in this unit: text clock, date picker and time picker, and the calendar view control. We go with the first one, text clock widget. The text clock widget can display the current date and time as a formatted string. This view honors the 24-hour format system setting. So here you can see this control, right? So this is nothing but the text clock widget. Don't worry about these things. This is a different control. But whatever I highlighted over here, what you can see 5:33 p.m. This is nothing but the text clock widget. It basically displays the time. So these are some of the attributes related to the text clock control. You have the 12-hour format and 24-hour format. The pattern you want it to be displayed, and also you can specify the time zone. Along with that, you have the common attributes like layout width, layout height. You can specify the ID, center and parent. These are all just the common attributes related to the control. But apart from that, the most specific for this control is 12-hour, 24-hour, and the time zone control. Sorry, time zone attributes. So these are the functions available. We won't be using all these functions, but no, they are just provided these functions. So whatever you can do inside the XML file, the same thing you can do through the functions in Java. So you have a separate widget for date and time pickers. You have this date and time container inside the palette. So here you have all the date and time picker controls. So the first one is your text clock control. So the code for the text clock is this one. It's very much simple. Text clock layout, specify the layout width, layout height, and also specify the ID for it. Very simple. If you want to reference the code in Java, then you can reference it like this. Fine. Let me show you the output of it. So this is the text clock control. Here it's displaying the current time. It's just fetching the current time from the system and displaying. Here you can see that it's matching to the current mobile, not system time, your mobile time. See, whenever the time changes over here, it is getting reflected even over here, right? So this is the text clock control. I show you the code for it. So this is the code. And remember one thing. I have written the comment over here. Requires API level 17 for the text clock control. Your app should be targeting more than 17 or 17 greater onwards. Only then you can use this control. If your app is targeting less than 17, then you can't use this control. Remember this one. How do you know which is your target type? If you go for build.gradle, you can see the target SDK version and minimum SDK version. So mine is 17 to 23, right? So since I specified 17, I can use this control. If I change this minimum SDK version to 16, then you can't use this control because this control is available only from API level 17 onwards. And I've not written any Java code for this one. Next, next we have the date picker and the time picker. The date picker and the time picker widget provides controls for selecting each part of the time, hour, minute, AM, PM or date. Using these pickers, you can ensure that your users can pick a time or date that is valid, formatted correctly and adjusted to the user's device. Here you have all sort of things. You can use this default controls for picking the date from the calendar and also to pick the time. So you have this graphical kind of thing where it shows you the thing. So you can change the time, you can select the time directly from this dialog. So basically this date picker and time picker is used for picking the date and time from the user's device. So to design a date picker or time picker, you can use this controls over here, which is provided in the date and time container inside a palette. Here you have this date picker and time picker, so you can use these two controls. XML syntax for date picker and time picker. So this is the code for the date picker and time picker. So the only difference over here is one is the date picker and one is the time picker. Except that the syntax of both the controls are same. Only thing is the names are different, right? And this is the code. This is the code to display it in the form of a dialog. If you want that the date picker and time picker to be displayed in the form of a dialog, then you need to make use of this code. So here, what are you doing over here? Here I am getting the instance of the calendar, right? Here I am getting the instance of the calendar. Here from the calendar I am getting the current year, current month and current day. Fine. I am getting the current year, month and day. Next, there is the date picker dialog class. We saw alert being a dialog, right? Likewise, this is the customized one, which is nothing but the date picker dialog. You have this date picker dialog. Declare an object for it. Next, pass your current activity reference. Next, register the listener. New date picker dialog set on date set listener for setting the date. Fine. So whenever you select any one of the date, this particular function is called on date set. So here you can see that whatever you have selected, year, month and day is passed. So here I am displaying it in the form of a toast message. Remember, whenever you whenever you select any one of the dates from the date picker, this particular function is called, and this function has 4 parameters where it passes with the reference of the date picker, your current year and month and day of the month, whichever you have selected. And you also need to pass 3 parameters, year, month and day. So by default, whatever you pass inside this year, month and day, that will be highlighted. It's just that it's just to highlight the current day inside the calendar when it opens. Same thing, to show the dialog, we used to call the show function, right? So same thing even over here. Once you create a date picker dialog, call the show function to display the date picker dialog. To create the time picker, it is almost the same. Get the calendar instance. Instead of hour, minute and seconds, you can get the hour and, instead of year, month and day, you can get the hour and minute. Store it inside this temporary variables. Next, create a time picker dialog. Date picker dialog, other one is the time picker dialog. Pass your current activity reference. Next, specify the listener over here. Here I am not specifying any listener, just giving a variable name. But in this specific position, you need to pass the listener, register the listener over here. And finally pass the hour, minute and false value. To show this dialog, call the show function. It is almost the same as the date picker itself, except that the concept is different. Over there it was for the date and here it is for the time. Fine. Okay, Sandeep, because it returns the values from 0 to 11, it starts from 0. The reason why I put month of year plus 1 is because it starts from 0. So if it starts from 0, then you need to consider as 0th month to 11th month, right? Where 11th month is December. It is not a user friendly. Instead of that, I'm adding plus 1. Hope you understood that concept. Since it starts from 0, I'm just adding plus 1. See, if you specify 0 for the user, will he understand anything? You know, it's meaningless, right? 0th month. So that's the reason I'm adding plus 1. But what in case of the month? That's what it specify the month number. Is that the thing you were asking? Month of year, it gives you the integer number. It gives you the integer number from 0 to 11. So you need to add plus 1 to make it proper so the user can understand that it belongs to 1 month or second month or third month. So I'll just show you the date picker. So this is the date picker. This is not your alert dialog, custom. No, it doesn't start. So this is your output for the date picker. This is not your alert. This is not a date picker dialog. This is your normal one. So if you use a date picker, it just displays the date picker on the screen. If you want to use the alert dialog, then you need to write the code which I showed you previously. On clicking of a button, you can execute that piece of code. Here you can change the month. Here you can change the month and select the date. Here, if the problem with this one is if you change the sorry the problem with this is if you use the normal date picker, it will try to occupy the full screen, right? So that's the reason you should use the date picker alert dialog. I mean date picker dialog. So that only when you click on any one of the buttons, you can display the dialog and make the user to select the date or time. If you use the date picker, then it will occupy the entire screen. So it is better that you use the date picker dialog or time picker dialog. So likewise, you have the time picker. So likewise, you can select the time. You can select the AM, PM. You can select the time over here. So that was your time picker and date picker. Next is your calendar view. The calendar view class is a calendar widget used for displaying and selecting the dates. The range of dates supported by the calendar is configurable. A user can select a date by tapping on it and can scroll and fling the calendar to a desired date. Fine. So here you can see this calendar view, right? So this is the calendar view. So some of the attributes are these things. These are some of the attributes for the calendar view. Likewise, there are some of the functions available for this calendar view. So you can use this calendar view. You can see this calendar view inside this datetime container. So either you can use this drag and drop this calendar view, or else you can write the code. So this is the calendar view syntax. Sandeep, do you want me to show the code for the text block? Okay, I'll just explain this calendar view and show both the things simultaneously. Okay, for the calendar view, here we are getting the reference of the calendar view. Fine, here we are getting the reference of the calendar view. Next, whenever you change the dates or select any one of the dates, this particular listener should be registered and it will be called. Fine. So whenever you change the date, whatever listener you have registered over here, inside that there is a function on selected date change. So whenever you change the dates or select the date, this particular function is called. So here you can see that year, month and day is passed. Fine. So here I am displaying the date inside the source message. So I'll just show you the output for the calendar view. So this is the calendar view control. Here you can see it is the same as a date picker except that the output is different. The way you look and see of the control is different. Here, this is the date picker. Sorry, this is the calendar view control. So this is the calendar view control. So here you can see that I've just used this calendar view, and by default it will display the text over here. I mean, by default it will display the controls, so you don't need to do anything. Fine. So here I am displaying the code. So whenever you change the text, this will be triggered. Sandeep, you can see that I have not written any Java code for the text lock control. I have not written any code, but I have just declared a text lock over here. So this is the XML code for the text lock. So it will display the current time. Yes, it will read the default time. Now that's the purpose of using this text lock. If you want to do it manually, then you put a text view control. Whenever the time changes, you can manually write the text into the text view. But that is quite difficult, right? So that's the purpose. You can use the default text view. You can use the default text lock control. Here, the time changed over here. Automatically, even the time reflected inside the UI. See, earlier it was 10:50. Now it is 10:51, right? So whenever the time changes over here, it will get reflected even inside the app if you are using the control. We'll go with the next unit. So these are the other UI widgets which we'll be seeing. Probably this will be the last controls. So from next session onwards, we'll be seeing some of the Android concepts, not the controls. So these will be the last controls that we'll be seeing in Android. Still there are a lot of other controls. Probably you can explore all those things. But whatever we are seeing in these sessions are the commonly used ones. Again, in this, most of the controls will never be used. but still these are the commonly used controls. So we'll be seeing these controls and also the XML code and how to reference them in Java. So we'll be seeing these controls, checked text view, autocomplete text view, multi-autocomplete text view, number picker and view switcher. Fine. So we'll go with the first one, checked text view. Checked text view widget is an extension of the text view widget that adds a checkbox along with some text. It can be useful when included in a list view control. Remember this one. Checked text view widget is an extension of your text view control. It is a combination of your checkbox and text view control. Instead of rather you should use the separate checkbox and text view, right? Instead of using that one, you can use this check text view control, and it is best suited to be used inside the list view control. It gives you more meaning over there and more flexibility of using it. So it is best suited to be used inside the list view control. So this is the checked text view. So these are some of the attributes for the checked text view. These are all the same attributes which we saw for the checkbox control. So again, we have some of the methods available for this check text view. So you can either drag and drop this check text view, or else you can write the code manually in the editor. So this is the code for the check text view. So here you are specifying the layout width, layout height. You can also specify the check mark, and you can specify some text, give a variable name for it, and you can say whether it is being checked or not checked. Fine. So how do you reference it in Java? So this is how you reference the control in Java. I think you should be familiar by now, I guess, how to reference the controls in Java, because it is common across the entire Android. I'll show the output for it. Here, what is this? This is the list view, right? This is the list view. For the list view, I am providing the checkbox options over here. Probably you might feel little difficult to see this, I guess, but you can see this white color, right? So this is the checked text view. Here, it is quite easy if you use this checked text view inside the list view control. I'll show you the code for it. Where is the check text view? Okay. So here you can see that I have declared a string array containing all the country names, right? I have declared a string array. Next, I am creating an adapter class Fine. I am getting the reference of the list view. I am getting the reference of the list view. Here I have created a custom adapter, items adapter. So let me open that items adapter. So if I open my items adapter, I am passing the context and the array. Fine. Next, I think by this time you should have understood the adapters concept. Here I am extending the base adapter concept. Once it's an abstract class, base adapter is an abstract class, so I need to override all these four functions. Fine. The most important one is your getView function, which will be called for each and every item. Suppose in this items there are 15 records, then this getView function will be called 15 times to create the views. Fine. So inside this function you can see that I am getting the reference of this checkbox item layout. So if I open my layout file, you can see that I just have a check text view control. Fine. I just have a checked text view control. Fine. And the variable name for that one is the checklist. So here I am getting the reference of the layout file. Next, I need to say b.findViewById r.id.checklist, where checklist is nothing but the variable name for this check text view. Fine. I am getting the reference of the control and storing it over here. Next, I am specifying the text post.setText items of position. So I am specifying the text for these controls. Fine. So if the number of items are 15, then this function will be called 15 times to create the items. So basically here I am retrieving the layout, getting the layout. In this layout I am getting the reference of the control checklist and specifying the text for it. So this is your adapter. So coming back for your activity file, here I am declaring an object for the adapter, passing the current application context, and passing the list. Next, give the adapter for the list view, saying that list view dot set adapter of adapter. So give the adapter for the list view. Next, you can use this set on item click listener. So whenever you check on any one of the items, you can manually set the checked text view to be checked or not checked. Set checked equals to false and v.set checked equals to true, depending upon the condition. Here you are saying that if it is being checked, I am unchecking it. Again, if it is not checked, I am checking it. So like this you can register the listener. So this is your checked text view. We'll go with the next one. The next one is your autocomplete text view control. The autocomplete text view widget is an editable text view widget that shows completion suggestions automatically when the user is typing. I think it is something like a Google search. Whenever you start typing, it will show the list of suggestions right inside the autocomplete text view. The same thing even over here. Whenever you start typing, it will show the suggestions. The list of suggestions is displayed in a drop-down menu from which the user can choose an item to replace the content of the edit text. So once you start typing, it will display all the suggestions inside the drop-down. So you can select any one of the items. It will be displayed inside the edit text. It will be displayed inside the autocomplete text view. So these are some of the attributes. So completion hint, it defines the placeholder. Basically, it defines the placeholder. Completion threshold defines the number of characters that the user must type. The meaning of this one is you can say completion threshold equals to 2. So if you specify the number as 2 for this completion threshold property, unless you type 2 characters, that drop down won't be displayed. If you specify the threshold as 5 characters, until you type 5 characters inside that control, the drop down won't be displayed. So in that case, you can use this completion threshold attribute. You can specify the drop down anchor, view to anchor to autocomplete the drop down. If not specified, the text view itself is displayed. You can also specify the drop down height for it. You can specify the drop down selector. You can customize the color of it. You can specify the drop down width of it. You can specify the pop-up background. You can specify the pop-up background color for it. So these are some of the functions available for the autocomplete text view. So you have this autocomplete text view inside this palette. So you can either drag and drop or write the code. So this is the code for the autocomplete text view. So specify the layout width, layout height, specify the hint, whatever you want, and give a variable name for it. Fine. So this is the code. So get the reference of the autocomplete text view. Get the reference of the autocomplete text view. Here I am declaring the string array. Here I am declaring the string array. Next, I am declaring an array adapter. For the array adapter, I am passing the current reference. I am specifying the default style for the drop down. Next, I am specifying all the countries. Fine. What is there inside this countries? It is nothing but the string array. So I am giving the countries for this adapter. Next is the normal way. You need to give the adapter for the autocomplete text view. Fine. Next one is the multi-autocomplete text view. The multi-autocomplete text view widget is an editable text view widget extending autocomplete text view widget. In short, it is very much simple. In autocomplete text view, you will be able to select only one option. But in multi-autocomplete text view, you will be able to select multiple options. That's the only difference, except that everything is same. I repeat once more. Autocomplete text view, autocomplete text view, you'll be able to select only one option. Multi-autocomplete text view, you'll be able to select multiple options. So that's the only difference over here. And each and every item will be separated by comma or a hyphen or a dot, whatever you specify. So here you can see that it is been separated by commas. Sandeep, I'll show you the example once I finish with this multi-autocomplete text view, because both are almost the same. Again, these are the same functions as your autocomplete text view. So you have this multi-autocomplete text view in the same expert container below the autocomplete text view. So there is no much difference between the syntax, except that instead of autocomplete text view, just say multi-autocomplete text view. So the code is almost the same. Get the reference of the multi-autocomplete text view. Get the reference of the multi-autocomplete text view. Next, you need to create an adapter and give the adapter. This adapter is the same one as we saw in the previous example. You create a string array or whatever array you want. Create an array adapter object. Give the adapter for this multi-autocomplete text view control. Next, the only extra thing is you need to set the tokenizer. Fine, you need to set the tokenizer. So object name dot set tokenizer. Here you need to pass what kind of tokenizer you want. So here I am specifying it should be a comma tokenizer. So whenever you select multiple options inside this multi-autocomplete text view, each and every item will be separated by commas. Fine. Whenever you select multiple options, each and every item will be separated by commas. So that is multi-autocomplete text view. So I'll show you the output for it first. So this is autocomplete text view. I am representing both the examples, both the controls in the same demonstration, in the same activity. So the first one is your autocomplete text view. The second one which you can see is nothing but the multi-autocomplete text view. So inside this autocomplete text view, I'll start typing something. I've given the hint as type country name. So I'll just type IN. So once I type I, you can see that the suggestions are displayed. Here, all the countries which starts with I are displayed. I select Indonesia. Again, if I start typing something, it won't display because nothing is matching, right? So only if it matches, it will display the drop down. So this is autocomplete text view. I'll go for multi-autocomplete text view. Same thing, I'll type I. So I'll select India first. Again, you can see that it has been separated by comma. So again, if I start typing AU, you can see Australia and Austria. I'll select Australia. Here, if I type new N, it will display New Zealand. So, likewise, you can select multiple options, and each and every option is being separated by commas. Fine. So here you can see that I'm displaying the text view over here. This is the text view just to display the label. This is the autocomplete text view. It's the same code, and here I specify the completion threshold as 1. So if I type one character, the drop down will be displayed. Fine. Next, again I'm displaying the label over here. Fine. Next, I'm displaying the multi-autocomplete text view. Here I'm declaring multi-autocomplete text view. Same thing, completion threshold is 1. Fine. So let me go for the Java file. So inside my Java file, first I'm declaring the list Either you use the string array or else you can use the collection classes. Here I am using the collection classes list. So inside the list I am adding a list of countries over here. Fine. So I am adding a list of countries. Next, I am getting the reference of the autocomplete text view. Fine. I am getting the reference of the autocomplete text view. I am declaring an adapter, passing the countries list and specifying the default style over here. Fine. And I am giving this adapter for the autocomplete text view. So this is the code for the autocomplete text view, and the next one is your multi autocomplete text view. Fine. Here I am getting the reference for the multi autocomplete text view. Next I am putting the same adapter. I have declared an adapter over here, right? So I am giving the same adapter even for the multi autocomplete text view. It is possible that you give the same adapters for multiple controls. It is possible. It is not that you need to declare separate adapters. You can give the same adapters for multiple controls. Next, I am registering the tokenizer over here, which is nothing but the comma tokenizer. So whenever you select multiple options, it will be separated by commas. So this is autocomplete and multi autocomplete text view concept. Is this fine? Can I continue with the next topic? Let me go with the next control, the number picker control or the widget. The number picker widget is a control that enables the user to select a number from a predefined range. There are two flavors of this widget, which one is present to the user depends on the current theme of the project, which will be present in style.xml file in your project. Fine. So this is your number picker. This is your just a second. Okay. This is your number picker. Don't worry about these things. These are all the things which we already saw. This is your number picker control. So these are some of the functions available for this number picker. So you can find this number picker inside the expert area. So this is the XML code for the number picker. You specify the layout width, layout height, and give a variable name for it. Fine. So here, this is the Java code. Here I am getting the reference of the number picker. Here I am specifying the minimum value and maximum value. Fine. Next, whenever the number, whenever you select any one of the options from the number picker and you want to capture it, you can use this listener, on value change listener. Inside this, there is a function which will be called on value change. In that, it will give you three values. One is your picker reference, one is your old value, and one is the new value. What was the old value and what is the new value? Both will be passed inside this function, which will be very useful. Fine. So that was the number picker. Let me show you with the example. So this is your number picker. Here, see, after 10 again it will start from 0. Fine. This is your number picker. So the code for that one is very much simple. There is no much extra code, just your normal number picker XML code. Just your normal number picker XML code. Next, the same thing which I explained in you in the slide. Get the reference of the control, set the minimum and maximum value, whatever you want. Next, whenever you select the number, you can display the source message. Here you can see that old value and new value is passed. That's it. Fine. We'll go with the next one, view switcher. A view switcher widget, as the name suggests, it is used to switch between two views. It is used to change the layout of your Android application within the same activity. You can create views for a view switcher widget either using a factory or by adding them on your own. Fine. You can change the views dynamically, but at a time only one view will be present. Here in the example itself you can see there are two views, right? One is the screen 1 and screen 2, but at a time only one view will be present. So these are the functions available for the view switcher. So you can find the view switcher inside the expert. So this is the code for the view switcher. You have the view switcher. Inside that I am declaring two linear layouts. So at a time only one of the linear layouts will be displayed. Fine. You put any number of views, but at a time only one only one view will be displayed. Probably I can show you in the code, which will be easy. So this is the, yes, it is like a tab itself, but you can swipe it. It is something like a tab but not tab. It is something like a tab but not tab. For example, I'll show you one, okay, I'll just explain this first. View switcher, you need to get the reference of this control. And if you want to show the next view or the previous view, you can call this functions accordingly. Show next or show previous. I'll show you the, okay, I'll show you the output. I just have one app. Okay, let me open one app. See, in this example, it's a Deccanized app. In this example, you can see that they are displaying the records in a list view control, right? So now I'll click on any one of the items. Now, if I want to go for the next item, what should I do? Do I need to go back to the main screen and click on any one of the items and again come back for the screen and should I read the data? It is very difficult, right? So in this kind of scenarios, you can swipe it like this. Here, you can swipe. Either you can swipe from left to right or from right to left. Here, you can swipe it. So in these kind of scenarios, you can use the view switcher control. Fine. It gives you more flexibility for the user. Sanjay, did you get it? Okay. Let me show you the output. Okay, it's not view, it's view switcher. Here, I am displaying two records, right? So if I want to show the next record, I can just swipe it here, and also I'm displaying the text now in 2 here. But view switcher is the old concept, fine, because it is very difficult to use this view switcher. I'll show you why. I'll explain you the code. I'll go back to my view switcher. This is the XML code. So here I have the view switcher. Here I have the text view control. Fine. The variable name for the view switcher is the view switcher. Now I'll come back to my Java file. Here I need to declare a variable name for view switcher and text view control. Next I am declaring an image array, images integer array, storing the reference of the images, and make sure that these images are there inside the drawable folder. Fine. Here the images are there inside the drawable folder. Next, I am getting the reference for the view switcher. I am getting the reference for the text view. Fine. Next, inside the for loop, I am declaring an image view control dynamically, setting the resource. I am declaring an image view dynamically, setting the resource of setting the path of the image. Next, I am adding that image view for the view switcher. Till here it is easy, right? You are just adding two views for the view switcher. Fine, no issues. And next, what you need to do is you need to register. You need to call this on touch event. So whenever you press the screen and here, whenever you press on the screen and swipe from left to right, you need to calculate from which side the user swipes, whether the user swipes from left to right or from right to left, or from top to bottom or from bottom to top. Fine. So you need to calculate how the user did the actions, whether from left to right or from right to left, or from top to bottom or from bottom to top. Fine. Which is very difficult. So here I am registering on touch event. So I am trying to capture the gestures of what the user is doing. So inside this on touch event, I am calling the event.getAction. Whether the event.getAction was action down or action up. If it is action down, I am getting the coordinates of it. Where exactly the user pressed on the screen, the X and Y coordinates of it. Fine. Likewise, even for action up, I am calculating I am getting the current coordinates. Next, I am checking whether it was last X greater than current X, whether the user did from left to right or from right to left. Fine. So accordingly, you need to change the views. Here I need to manually call the show previous or show next. Likewise, even for this one, if the display child is 0, which means that I'm in a first position, then I need to show the next one, or else I need to show the previous one. This code is like complicated, right? Because you need to calculate the gestures and do. If something goes wrong, then everything will be wrong. So instead of using this view switcher control, I will suggest you to use this new concept called as view pager. It is not there in the slide, but just for your general knowledge or probably it might help you, I have included this view pager in the code. Here, this is view pager. See the, okay, I'm not able to show the screen. Okay. I will suggest you to use this view pager instead of view switcher, because using this view pager is damn easy. Fine. Here, it gives you the cool feel over here. Here, it's so smooth over here, right? This is view pager. Fine. If I'll show you the code for it. The code is slightly extra, but this should be used in your Android applications because this will give you more feel. I showed you one example, right? Deccan Herald application. So we swipe from left to right, right? So even in that example, they are using the view pager, not the view switcher. So this is the view pager. Fine. So if you come back for your Java file, here I am declaring the layout inflator, which is used to create the individual pages. Fine. Next, I am declaring a view pager variable. Here I am declaring a person object. Fine. Okay. I am declaring a list of person. If you see the person class, I am declaring two variables, name and image ID. Fine. I am declaring two variables, name and image ID. So here I am calling one function initialize data. Let me go for this initialize data function. So inside this initialize data, I am creating a new person object and adding it for the list. So new person, I am passing the string and I am passing the reference of the image, and I am adding this person object for the list. So basically I am just creating a list of persons. Fine. Once I create the list of persons, I am getting the reference. I am declaring an object for the layout inflator. Next, I am getting the reference of the view pager. Next, I am declaring an adapter. I have created an adapter over here. Class my pages adapter. This is nothing but the inner class. You need to understand the inner class concept. Inner class is nothing but a class present in one more class. It's not something like your nested for loop. Fine. So here I am declaring the pages adapter. Inside that, I am extending the page adapter class. Implement the page adapter class to handle individual page creation. Fine. Once I extend this page adapter class, I need to override this function get count. So inside this get count function, you return the list of size. Fine. Next, you need to override this instantiate item, where inside this item you need to get the layout file. I already declared this view pager layout file. If I open this view pager layout file, you can see that I am displaying a text view and a image view. Fine. There are two controls inside this. One is the text view and one is the image view. So I am getting the reference of the layout file. I am getting the employee position. Fine. I am just declaring an object employee. I am getting a person object over here. Next, I'm setting the text over here. Page dot find view by ID. I'm getting the variable name from this layout file here. Text name and image view. These are the two control variable names, right? So I'm getting the reference of the control over here and I'm setting the text dynamically. You can use either this syntax or this syntax. Only difference between this one and this one is here I'm directly getting the reference and calling the setText function. But here I'm declaring it separately, then calling the function. So either you use this syntax or you use this syntax. Fine. Next, same thing, even for image view. I am getting the image view reference, set the image resource, and I am passing the image ID for the image view control. Next, once you finish with that one, add the page for the view pager. So here you can see that view pager dot add view at 0th position and finally return the page. Fine. So this is basically creating the views. Next, we just leave the default code over here for the is view from object, and inside the destroy item you can remove the view from the item just by calling the remove view and object. Object you can get it from here. Fine. So this is the view pager. Sandeep, code is complicated related to this view pager. Sandeep, is the code complicated? Yeah, it looks, but once you just go through the code, you will feel it very easy. Initially you might find it difficult because first time you are seeing it, right. So once you see the code, just run the application and go through the code. You will find it very easy actually. And remember, yeah, you need to use this control in your Android applications. If you get a scenario where you need to display the list of items, because user might swipe from left to right. You can't use the view pager. You need to use this view pager control. So just I'll give you the source code. Just go through the code. You'll find it very easy actually. Try to do some modifications. So next time when you're implementing this control, nothing. You just need to copy this entire code. You just need to copy this entire code, customize however you want. That's it. Fine. Just wait for 2 minutes. Just wait for 2-3 minutes. I'll give you the source code link so that you can download that one. Sandeep, this is the link where you can download the source code. Okay. Thank you for attending the session. Have a great day. Remaining things we'll be seeing in the next session.